Hey guys, happy Sunday. Just to piggyback off the things that we were talking about in the last session, or these training manual sessions, whatever you want to call them, is the following. We talked about what building rapport is, right? So you have to come in with the mentality of open arms, accept people, don't judge people because you will be judged as well, right? And I also talked about you don't need a $1,000 suit, you don't need fancy suits, fancy words, fancy jewelry, none of this stuff. And the reason for that is this, man. People want you to be normal, right? The complexity of simplicity. Now, aside from that, I will say this though: you have to do certain things though, like be well shaven, um, pop a mint in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like iron your shirt. Because people don't want to see you and be like, "Oh, this guy's a slob. He doesn't care about himself." Because how can you care about someone else when you don't care about yourself, right? So you have to give that. You don't have to have a lot. And it goes. I remember my great grandmother who raised me, man, and she was kind of poor, but she wasn't poor minded. But she always used to tell me, man, cleanliness represents a lot. And I don't know if you've ever been to someone's house who has a lot of nice things, but it's a fucking mess. And you go to someone else's house who doesn't have much, but it's clean, where you feel like you can eat off the floor. It tells you something about those people's characteristics, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Now, back to the sales game. So now you receive them with open arms. You talk to them genuinely. You ask genuine questions. So this is what we call the meet and greet process, right? Where they meeting you, you're greeting them. There's certain things that you have to do during this process to accomplish the goal. And the goal is to establish respect both ways because it's a two-lane highway. You're showing them respect, therefore they must show you respect. Right? And not only that, but when you establish this is the first portion of taking control of the sale. Meaning you're going to guide them. Right? It's like you're the pilot. They're on your plane. Right? And that's a perfect example. And I'm freestyling this just so that you know. When you get on an airplane, the first thing they do is they greet you when you get on. Hello, welcome to Delta. Right? Everyone looks nice, presentable. Oh, come this way. Let me show you where your seat is at. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Then, before they take off, they give you some instructions. They tell you what to expect. And in return, you expect that they do what they said they're going to do, right? When they get there, it's going to be a smooth flight. We should have little turbulence, this and that, blah, blah, blah. See, that's all the sales process, right? That's to make you feel comfortable. And so in the first part of the meet and greet process, what you're really establishing is comfortability. Right? And that's going to be something that's going to attach itself to the rapport portion. You know what I mean? So all these things are intertwined and they all bridge together. But this is why I say you got to keep sales real again. And here's what's funny. Most people do this naturally, but when we get into the sales game, we start putting titles and labels on them. And I'll give you a perfect example. You ever, as a child, went to your friend's house for the first time? You meet the mom, and she's like, hey, what's your name? Oh, you're Mikey. Oh, great. Oh, hi, welcome to my house. Would you like some water? You want something to eat? Oh, sit down. Make yourself at home. And then when you're done, playing your little video games or whatever you guys did, and you leave and you're like, oh man, your mom is cool. And you would go back there because you felt comfortable enough to, right? That's the same thing that we're trying to do, man. That transfer of emotion. So the mom went out her way. So you understand how this works. Because she wanted you to feel comfortable. Because the product is her son or her child, daughter, whatever the case is, right? And she wanted you to feel comfortable enough to have a good time with her child because she knows that her child's going to be happy that you're happy. right? That's sales. So when we start understanding these things on a microscopic level, then we'll get into the dynamics of expansion, right? Which is a sales term. Dynamics of expansion, I'm sure how to build off the things that we're talking about. But I just want you to understand that your job as a salesperson is to forget about the sales and be a person. Because once we become salespeople, we put sales first. That's why it says salesperson, right? It should be a person of sales. Personal sales. Keep it personal. Keep it genuine. Keep it sincere. So that's your little tutorial for today. And keep in mind that in the next like 2 weeks, once I go through these little tutorials, then I'm going to show you what the actual process is. And I'm actually going to show you step by step how to do things. I just want you to have an understanding that sales is more simple than what it is complex. People think, oh, put on $1,000 suit. I have to have a car, a Porsche, a Jaguar. I got to put on the big bracelet. Look at me, guys. I'm the guy who did all that. And this is no bullshit. I drove a 745. I drove a Q45. I drove a Porsche, a C320, several Maximas. I'm talking about things of the year. Paid off cash. I made money, but I also lost it because I lost focus. Because I started chasing the sale versus doing what's right for my people. Keep in mind that the money is a byproduct of what you do. With that being said, happy Sunday. Tomorrow I'm going to drop another little gem on you. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want people to understand what it means to understand what you understand. Let's keep sales real again.